Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Alright, I've got my voice back a bit compared to yesterday. We're in a very busy Riverside Mill. We've had a late start because we went and saw Fantasmic last night. The late showing of Fantasmic. So we didn't actually get back to our room until like 11:40. And I had to go on a little bit of a hunt for a drink because the nearest vending machine was out. The next nearest vending machine didn't have any drinks. But I eventually found one by the pool. So this morning I like to think of today as like a tidying up day in terms of we're basically finishing off some things that we haven't had a chance to do yet. So we're starting off in Animal Kingdom. We've got a couple of things to do there because this is actually only our second time in Animal Kingdom this trip. And then we're going to the plan currently is that we're going to take a break in the middle of the day because we found that has actually been very productive because it has been so hot. Charlie wanted to eat at Deluxe Burger this trip and we haven't had the chance to do it. So the plan is to then go to Disney Springs and eat a Deluxe Burger. Before heading to a resort on the Skyliner route and then getting the Skyliner to Epcot. Once we're at Epcot, we wanted to go and check out the UK and Canada pavilions a little bit because we haven't really looked in them compared to the other pavilions. And we also wanted to see the Moana walk-through water, I can't remember what it's called, I'll put it on the screen, that thing at night because apparently it's really pretty. And we also wanted to go and check out what Spaceship Earth looked like at night because we always see it from a distance but we never see it from close up. And we're also going to redeem our scavenger hunt things. So that is the current plan for today. We'll see how that actually ends up. Now, I haven't shown you breakfast today because we basically, for the most part, had the same things as before. But one thing we did pick up that we haven't had before was a pineapple cup. We have eaten the pineapple, but you can see roughly how big the pineapple cup was. And Charlie said it was $5.69 plus tax for that pineapple cup. I think we both kind of were just like, we just really fancy some fruit because there is definitely, in general, a lack of fruit and vegetables in the stuff. We've had a couple of salads here and there, bits of salad, but generally speaking, there's a lack of fruit and veg.
And certainly in the quick service, which we've mostly been eating in, because I think the majority of time that we've had more vegetables has been because we've gone to a sit-down.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Because at a sit-down you can usually get some nice vegetables with your meal, but the quick service, it's very heavy on the, well, obviously it's fast food, isn't it, essentially. So.
What I will say is a lot of the meals where you get fries included, you do have the option of apple slices in a lot of places. And also the kids' meals will get the option of apple slices as well.
I would say that if you're two or more people, and even if you have a craving like, well, we want a few fries with that, the portions of fries are usually huge. So what we would often do, we haven't done it so much this trip because most of the time we haven't been buying two meals that would have the option. But we have done it before, is get one person get it with fries and one person get it with apple slices, and then you can just share between you, because certainly one portion of fries out here is big enough to share.
Well said, Charlie, well said. So we're going to finish up here. We're going to do our regular through the shop to check out the Disney trivia, because we love a bit of trivia. Yeah, we'll then get the bus to Animal Kingdom. It is really busy in here. There seem to be a lot of people checking out today. They're having late breakfast. No.
Oh, it's Raven Baxter, and it's all pictures of Raven.
Ah, Raven!
That is amazing.
That's so Raven.
That was such a great picture.
Right, let's get going. Alright, we're here at the bus stop waiting, and today's trivia was Disney Cruise trivia, which, I won't lie, I feel we aced. But,
I mean, I did.
earlier in the week, we had a trivia question come up, which we really were like, we don't know the answers to this. So we had to later on look it up. We didn't cheat, just for the record. We didn't answer the question in the stall, but we thought we'd ask you and see if you know the answer. So there's two parts to this question.
I will also say, if you just go, if you're worried about not knowing all the answers in the trivia, you should still do it, because the cast members will just help you out, and even if you get it wrong and you don't actually get to it, they'll go, but you did so good,
And they will give you
and
the
they'll
button
still give you
anyway.
the button,
So, part one of the question is, what are the names of Mickey Mouse's nephews? Okay, what are the names of Mickey Mouse's nephews? And part two of the question is, what are the names of Minnie Mouse's nieces? So we straight away, just for the record, we knew Donald and Daisy's, but we did not know Mickey and Minnie's. So we will answer that for you later on in the video. Have a think. Try not to Google it, if you can, because we will be telling you the answers later.
When we googled it, didn't you see that, was it Mickey's or Minnie's? They literally show up in one comic book.
From the 1960s, one comic book.
That's all
So
there
if
is.
you do know it straight off, without any assistance, well done, because in my opinion, this is the hardest question we have seen in all the trivias we've seen. And that's not anything to do with whether we've known the answer. I think it is just one of the hardest questions we've seen. Short of knowing like how many tiles make up Spaceship Earth. So good luck with the question, and we will let you know the answer in a bit. Alright, we've made it into Animal Kingdom. We've had a look in some of the shops on our way to the safari, and we are about to go on the safari. So enjoy some footage from that.
Over on the left-hand side, back by the rock wall there, it looks like there are a few African painted dogs. African painted dogs are one of the most successful pack hunters in the world. Each of them will have a unique design, so none of those coat patterns are going to be the same. And they're also going to have a wide range of vocal communication noises, some of which might even sound like high-pitched chirping noises. Over on the left-hand side around the corner here, it looks like there are a few Ankole cattle. It also looks like there are a few sable antelope in the back left-hand corner as well there.
An elephant.
That's not an elephant, buddy.
You see those sable antelope laying down in the corner. Sable antelope are going to be the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve, with their large horns that will curve towards their backs to deter predators from jumping up on top of them. And they're going to get their name from the lovely sable brown color on their coats. The Ankole cattle there on the left are a domesticated type of cattle, domesticated by the Watusi tribe, so they are also known as the Watusi cattle. And they have those very large horns that will get anywhere from 4 to 6 feet in length from tip to tip, and will be used to help with blood circulation. There's also a few Maasai giraffe coming up ahead. There's going to be one over on our left-hand side, and a few more that will be up on our right as we move just a bit further here. Maasai giraffe are going to stand at about 16 to 20 feet tall when fully grown, making them the tallest land animal. Like their relative, the okapi we saw earlier, they are going to have those very long prehensile tongues. which they're going to stake out, wrap around branches, bushes, leaves, and pull them into their mouth to eat in a method called grousing.
Charlie doesn't like snakes. I don't like the 8-legged things. I'm okay with scorpions, but the other ones. So she has a look ahead, because basically as soon as I know it's in the room, I leave. Alright, we are now heading into the fish and the birds. All the fish. So many of them. Just chilling. Oh, duck! Ducklings! Mama duck taking them for a tour around the water. Making sure they're... Oh, there's a third one. We found a third one. Yeah, there's 3 ducklings. Look. Yeah, we're coming, Mama. We're coming. They've just gone under the bridge here. They must be under the bridge because they're both looking in this direction. Like, they're there. Yeah, she's gone to go and get them, look.
Well, they might have gone.
Oh, God. Yeah, look. These are the teenagers.
Hidden Mickey.
Oh, yeah, hidden Mickey in the rocks.
Yeah, look, they're there.
Oh, yes. Can you see them through the greenery? I think there's a 4th one there now as well. Constantly gaining ducklings. It's one of my favourite sections. Here we go. Just chilling under the water.
Keeping cool.
Now, you may have heard when we were on the safari that they don't have sweat glands. So that's why they chill out in the water to stay cool. And from my experience, these particular hippos love having a poop in front of an audience. So you'll often see the remnants floating around.
Tell me that doesn't remind you of the show.
Yeah. Get another angle of him there.
Look at the fish just
Now, hippos are actually one of the most dangerous creatures in the world, just because they have so much strength in their jaw. I don't know if you can see, there is one over there.
Yeah.
And if we look above the water, you can see his little ears popping out. But yeah, there is one over there too. So they do have to come up to breathe. They cannot breathe underwater, but they can hold their breath with extraordinary. I love the hippos. But just to show you what I mean by their jaws. Wait, could you just stand next to this? She won't. But you can see, compared to her walking past, just how big that jaw is and the size of those back teeth. Like, you do not want to mess with a hippo. And comparatively, this is a crocodile. So like, crocodile, hippo. Mess with the hippo. Although just for safety reasons, don't mess with a crocodile either. I'm just saying, like, don't underestimate the hippos. They know what they're doing. Here we have the Grevy's zebra, or as Americans say, zebra. And we've got the zebra butt here. Shaking his tail. So here we have the gorilla. This is Lily here. It's like the oldest daughter in the family.
She heard enough that she thought, look up.
So we've got Lily over here. She's obviously had enough of her relatives because they are all over here. Typical teenager. She likes to kind of hang out and do her own thing while the little ones and parents are over there. Yeah. Do you know, was Lily in the TV series? The animated episode? I think she might have been in a couple of episodes. She definitely was here when they were doing that because her younger sister Grace is the little one, the little baby that was born during that show. Yeah. This one right here is Grace. If you watch the Disney series that featured the gorillas, I'll put the name of it here. Grace was the baby at the time that was filmed. So you can see how big she is now. But they're just such gorgeous creatures. We're still in the gorilla section. But I am going to show you one of, it's not a hidden Mickey, but it's along those lines. And I think this is one of the coolest ones. So let me show you it. So right now we are on the bridge and you turn around, you look back, and this is a hidden Jafar. I'm going to zoom the camera out so you can see. This is his hat right here, and that's his nose and his mouth. But yeah, that is a hidden Jafar. Else is looking at the animals and I'm looking at a fake rock. We were just chatting to a cast member, Holly, and she was telling us that when we were looking in the glass earlier, the gorilla right in the corner, that's Gino. He's 42 years old and he was in that series about the gorillas. He's the dad. The brothers are actually in a separate section because they are just maturing before they find their mate. Apparently they find a mate when they're about 15 years old, so they're a little too young yet. But they've moved away from their family because they're kind of at the age where they're like, we're moving out, but they're not quite ready to fully grow up yet. So yeah, there you go. That's a bit about the gorillas and a little update for anyone that watched that series on Disney Plus that featured the gorillas. That was all in the Gorilla Falls Exploration Trail. And the entrance to that is right as you get off the safari. You don't have to go on the safari to get in there, but if you are planning to go to it, do it right as you get off the safari. So one of the interesting things that Holly said to her is when the gorillas are quite close to the humans, like physically, they'll tell you all the information you want about them, but they will not tell you their names, just for safety reasons. And I've certainly seen that at various city zoos where people just get like super aggressive with yelling at the animals. So it's just to avoid that. So while she couldn't tell us the names of the male gorillas we were looking at, they were all able to tell us the names of the ones that were behind the glass, because you couldn't have that kind of interaction with them. Hence why we knew which ones were Gino, Lily and Grace. I know what it's from, and I know why it took me so long. Lily and Grace are the kids in, the show, is it Sofia I know what the show is, I just can't think what it's called. No. It's like a sitcom, and it's about the dad and his young, like, Spanish or South American wife, and she's got a kid, and then it's his older kids all have their kids, and there's the gay couple, and I'm sure their kids are called Lily and Grace. We'll have to look that up. I know what show I'm thinking of, but I never watched it. I think it's got the word family in the name.
Modern Family.
Modern Family, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Did you just say, oh my god, that was the worst explanation for Modern Family
What?
I have ever heard?
I've never watched it, but I am going to look up if Lily and Grace are the kids in that show to know if...
I mean, there's loads of kids in that show.
There are, but I think they're like twins. I think they're the twins of the gay couple.
They don't have twins, the gay couple.
We're going to look it up.
Daughter.
Now, we're heading on Everest. I'm not going to film while we're on it because I have so much footage from Everest. So feel free, I'll put links on the bottom to check out our ride through videos of our previous excursions to Expedition Everest. It hasn't changed. Sometimes some effects are on, some effects are off, but it's pretty much the same thing all the time. So enjoy those while we enjoy Everest. We are in Satuli Canteen for lunch. It's one of our favourite quick services in Animal Kingdom because they have the cheeseburger pods. Cheeseburger pods. We love them. Yes. So we both bought an adult portion which comes with 2 cheeseburger pods, coleslaw, and some root vegetable crisps. And then we've also got some desserts. Let's take a look. So this here is the cheeseburger pods with the coleslaw, the chips. We've then got this dessert. I'm going to put the name of it on the screen. Involves chocolate mousse and raspberry. And then we've got the blueberry lemon mousse. That is Charlie's firm favourite. Has been here since, I think, the opening day of Pandora. And Charlie is already tucking in. She's also got this drink.
It's not blueberry lemon.
Isn't it?
Blueberry passion fruit.
Blueberry passion fruit, sorry, because she doesn't like it. I knew it was blueberry. And then she's also got this drink, which is non-alcoholic. And I'll put the name of it on the screen and what it's a combination of as well. But she says it's really good. So just looking at the prices here, looks like the cheeseburger pods were about $13 each. Soda was $4.50, which is like the standard price for the regular size soda. Her drink is a Pandoran Sunrise. That was $5.50. The blueberry mousse is $5.79, and the Met Cayena mousse, which is the purple one, is $6.29. So this has not been our cheapest quick service meal, but it's our last full day. We decided to treat ourselves a little bit. Alright, so we are in Epcot. We have had a break this afternoon, and we are now trying some things at the Flower and Garden Festival. Charlie has been dying to try the steak tenderloin, the scallops, and the maple chocolate cake. So let me show you what those look like. Charlie is like fork at the ready. So that is the steak tenderloin, the beef steak tenderloin tips with carrots and I think it was buttered mashed potato of some description. And mushrooms. This is the scallops with a bacon vinaigrette and green beans. And this is the chocolate maple cake. Chocolate maple whiskey cake. So I am not someone that eats bacon. I'm not allergic or anything, I just don't eat bacon.
You're gonna like that.
So we weren't sure how this was going to come because some things they have things where you can avoid them and other things they don't. This looks completely unavoidable, but there is a scallop that doesn't have much on it, so I'm going to scrape the bacon off and give it a try. But just be aware that you can always ask them, because sometimes they can do it without certain things, but Charlie would have killed me if we hadn't got the bacon, so she wanted the bacon. Now price-wise, both of the savoury items were the beef was $7.25, the scallops was $7.75, and the cake was $4.50, just to give you a price, and those numbers all include tax. All right. So verdicts in. We've decided we liked all three of those things. Charlie is currently really enjoying the chocolate cake. She thoroughly enjoyed the bacon with the scallops. And so I had one scallop. Thankfully, the bacon was really just the bacon you could see. So once I scraped it all off, it was fine. And the beef with the beef and mashed potatoes with a mushroom gravy. What could go wrong? So all three of those were very tasty.
Yeah, see, my issue is they cover the strawberries and that stuff. I don't like that.
So we've now got the lobster tail from the Florida Fresh booth. This was $11.25, and the strawberry shortcake, which is also part of the trail, that was $5.
Did you get your stamp?
All right, so we have been told that Moana Journey of Water is particularly special at night. So we've only ever done it during the day, so we're now going to do it at night. And this is the main reason we have come back to Epcot on a Saturday night during a festival, is to see this. So let's go check it out. Here we go. Moana Journey of Water. Yeah, this is already looking pretty cool. Oh, thank you. It's certainly very pretty at night and also very loud. I can't say I noticed it was this loud during the day. And look at all the lighting. Isn't it cool? We're just in a little line waiting for the stream section. So we'll just give it a few seconds here until a space freezer. Here we go. So Charlie's waving at the water and saying hello. And look at beautiful spaceship Earth in the background. And the water is saying hello back. So cute. My turn. Hi water. Nice to see you. Have a great evening. So the water here has slowed so we can cross. Going to walk through the stream. I don't think this shows up particularly well, but it is wet that you're walking through. but there is a dry path as well. So the next section is spring. I'm going to see if Charlie has found a spot. She's looking, she's eyeing up. Okay. So as you lift your hand, the water goes up, and as you lower it, it goes down. Just like that. My turn. It is recording already, Charlie. Thank you. It does. That's the bit where you get wet. This next bit is kind of cool. We just have to wait for some people to go first, and then you will see. So just remember that you guys are seeing exactly what I'm seeing, okay? Alright, so as I approach, the water clears and lets me through. And I'll just whiz the camera around so we can get Charlie doing it. See the same thing. That's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a gambling game.
I can't help but flinch on it.
So this next bit is lake. Now when I first saw this, I almost shed a tear because I'd seen pictures of Te but somehow seeing her in person is just amazing. So I'll turn the camera around and you can see her. And there she is with a glowing pool of water beneath her. Isn't she stunning? Like, she's just fantastic. So, close up. Just absolutely stunning. And there's Spaceship Earth again. So we're heading into the ocean section now. So the key to this one is you want to be coordinated. So everyone basically needs to raise their hands at the same time at the water, and magic happens. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So with this one, it's easy to miss. You stamp or jump on this and it will make water jump. Ready? Just like that. Alright, I'm lying in bed now. So tired. I've just totaled up how many miles we've walked in the last 12 days, and it's like over 80 miles, which is just insane to me. I've also come up as being the 9th best mover according to my gym, which is called the Disney World Gym. Anyway, earlier in this video, I asked you a trivia question, which was 2 parts. So the first part was, what are the names of Mickey Mouse's nephews? And the second part was, what are the names of Minnie Mouse's nieces? So the names of Mickey Mouse's nephews are Morty, short for Mortimer, and Ferdy, short for Ferdinand. And Minnie Mouse's nieces are Melody and Charlie.
Millie Macintosh, Melody Thornton.
She's got a thing for remembering them. They are not called Millie Macintosh and Melody Thornton. So it's Millie and Melody. I tasked her with remembering Minnie's, and I was tasked with remembering Mickey's. So there you go. Those are the answers. But as we said earlier on, some of those characters only appear in like one comic from 1960 something. So if you knew them straight off, well done to you, because that's like very rare Disney knowledge. So tonight is our last night in Disney World. Sad face. At least for this trip. I have not packed. We hit a little snag with checking in. I was able to check in, but Charlie, I think they've done a security check on. And with BA, you don't get to pick your seat for free until 24 hours before, but it will only let you do it during the check-in process. So it's just going, no, you can't check in, but not letting her pick her seat even, which is just mad to me, that they're penalising you for being security checked. I feel like they should at least let you choose your seat. Anyway, we'll see how that ends up tomorrow. But otherwise, for tonight, I'm going to say good night. If you liked this video, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing as well. I try to get better with content, but my brain just sometimes gets a little messed up and I can't always post on the regular. But this is the sort of content I'm posting. There's ride videos, all sorts, and I'm going to be doing in the future some general tips and tricks videos as well. So please like, please subscribe, please comment down below, and we'll see you in the next video, which will be our final day and our travel home, which I'll show some of. A lot of people don't show their travel home videos, but I think there is some important information in there, so I'm going to try and show you the important stuff. So we'll see you next time. Bye! Good morning. It is our last day at Disney. We're flying home tonight. It has been a little bit of a hectic morning, just because we got up at 7, got a virtual queue for Guardians, and of course it's the one day.
Did we?
Well, I got up just after. Anyway, she did it. Of course, it's the one morning we didn't want an early callback time. And of course, what happens? We get an early callback time. I hadn't packed anything. It was immediately all hands on deck, get everything packed. And we were out of the room by 9. But then, literally at 9 o'clock, they call us up for Guardians. And we were like, we'll never make it in time. So we're heading there now to see if they'll let us in anyway. Because technically we've missed our slot. So, crossed fingers. See what happens.
So I finished my training, and then I'm picking up a soccer shift, not this week, the next week. Hi, how are you? Good. Yeah, you can go right there. Take it. 2 cheesecakes all day. Okay, I tried this. The biscuit. Chicken biscuit. Great. Where's that at? Oh, by Test Track. Oh, that's the same. I have to try that. I'll do that to try some wines. Okay. And they even have fried cinnamon rolls. Oh, where might I try that? You
Alright, so we've jumped a little bit in time. Hopefully I just showed you some footage of the honey nitro mascarpone cheesecake being made. Do I still have the receipt in my pocket? I think I might. Got so many receipts flying around at this point. This was for... No, that wasn't it. Another one. So the honey cheesecake was $5.25. I found it absolutely delicious. It's so good. Would absolutely have that again without even thinking about it. Really enjoyed it. So what have we done so far today, other than panic about that Guardians thing? So for the record, they did let us on, and the exact quote was, "We don't care about the time." They do at Tron, but we don't care here. So yeah, they basically let us straight on. That was fine. We did purchase Lightning Lane this morning for it because it's our last day. We thought we'd treat ourselves a little bit to a second ride on Guardians. That was $15 each plus tax. So I think it total came to like $31, $32, something like that. So we did that. We then went on a hunt for a t-shirt, which we've seen like every day we've been in Epcot, except today. And I cannot find this t-shirt. So sad face, because it doesn't look like I'm going to get that. It was the orange bird one that says, "Orange, you glad to see me?" And it was like 30% off, plus I would have got my annual pass holder discount on it. So it would have been an absolute bargain. Anyway. We then, between our two Guardians rides, we headed to Spaceship Earth. So I think this trip, our two most ridden rides have been Spaceship Earth and Guardians. Charlie's eating her Chex Mix, which she's absolutely loving. She's so quiet. So we did Spaceship Earth. We also went and saw the manatees. Charlie tried an Uncrustable for the first time, which was quite amusing watching her try one. An Uncrustable is basically a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You can get strawberry jelly or you could get grape jelly. She went with the strawberry one. I didn't have one because I've had one before and it's just not my cup of tea. But they're very popular over here. And it was totally free because they had a PB&J garden sponsored by Smuckers. So we went and saw the manatees over at the Seas. Then we hit up the land, and we were going there for two reasons. One, we wanted to do Living with the Land. And two, because they had a Stitch cake cone, which you had to pay for, but it was exclusive to annual pass holders. And it was rather sad seeing the children of non-annual pass holders desperately wanting one and not being able to get one, because they were very cute. It was alright. It was the same sort of cake that we had in the cake pop right at the beginning of the trip on the Dole Whip thing, but where it was a different flavour cake, I found it much more pleasant, but couldn't eat it all at all, and I think that was about $6.50 or something. So very similarly priced to other special desserts. I'll put a picture in of it now because it was very, very cute. So we did that. We did Living with the Land, and then we progressed over to here via the cheesecake. Here being Morocco, where they've got the annual pass holder lounge till the 26th of June. If you're an annual pass holder, totally free to use, but everyone in your party must be an annual pass holder. But they've basically got cold water, air conditioning, some snacks, the snacks aren't necessarily anything special, but Charlie seems to be very much enjoying them. And then they have some Moroccan tea as well, which we didn't try. If you saw a previous video, the reason I don't drink tea, and Charlie has had the same sort of thing in Morocco, and she didn't want to ruin her memory of that with something that wasn't necessarily quite as authentic. So we have not tried the tea. But they are also doing character meet and greets here. So far the only character we've seen is Genie, but I know Jafar sometimes appears as well. We didn't meet Genie last time because he disappeared for like 45 minutes and we eventually gave up waiting. But he is out there at the moment, but with a little bit of a line. So don't know if we're going to end up meeting him or not. Anything to add, Charlie? No. I did want to mention a few things about this morning. So today was our checkout day. Our checkout time was 11. And we weren't honestly sure what time we were going to leave this morning. As I said earlier in the video, basically we got an early call back for Guardians and then it became just a bit of a mad rush to get out. We decided to call Bell Services to come and get our bags so they'd then hold them in storage rather than us traipsing them across the resort to Bell Services. It is customary to tip Bell Services if they are handling your bags $1 to $2 per bag. So in this case we had ended up with 5 bags because they're like hand luggage and backpacks and things. So we tipped the cast member that came $10. And then he drove me to the main building, which was very nice, in his little golf cart. So that made my morning a little bit easier, but it certainly meant we didn't start off all kind of sweaty and gross from lugging our bags around. They just give you a ticket, and then later on we'll go back to Bell Services and collect our bags before. The plan is to get a Lyft or an Uber to the airport. The reason we choose to do that is because in our experience, when you get the Mears coach, they often pick you up incredibly early. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but like you don't need to leave in practice quite as early as they actually pick you up. So we prefer to get an Uber and then we can leave at the time we want to leave so we can enjoy a bit more of the day. I know, she's so quiet. Give her a snack, and you've been so lively this trip as well compared to the usual stuff. Anyway, we're enjoying the day. We had a bit of rain earlier, but it was quite nice and refreshing. Actually, you might be able to see a little bit of Genie over there, meeting and greeting. So he is there, and they've got a photographer as well. We'll see where we end up next. Oh, you keep eating your snacks. Alright, we are back at the hotel. Charlie has just appeared, changed from her day in the park. I'm going to change at the airport just so I feel fresher. We've got our bags back. We grabbed a little spot of lunch at the hotel and I'm just about to call a Lyft. Lyft XL right now is looking at about $35 to $40. So we are going to do that to get to the airport, and we will then be on our way. I'd say exciting. No, it's not exciting, it's sad, but we'll be excited to get home to the dog and everything. So, alright, let's get on with this. So we made it to the airport. Poor Charlie. She's had a bit of a nightmare with checking in and things. So basically, last night, 24 hours before when check-in opened, she logged on. We deliberately scheduled our live so that she was able to log on at that particular moment in time. And she goes to check in and it basically goes error, which meant she couldn't choose her seat, because when you go to try and choose your seat, it goes check in and then it's going error. So she just got caught in an error loop. We were on different bookings. I go to check in, checked in absolutely fine, which is frustrating because I had my seat already allocated, and she didn't. And for her, middle seat is a particular nightmare. I'm not going to go into details as to why, but it is a particular nightmare. So we get to the airport, and guess what? They told us middle seat, but don't worry, it's okay because you're in the front row. She literally couldn't care less about the front row. It's the middle seat that is a problem. So they were really quite dismissive of our concerns, and just kind of went, well, it's full, so there's nothing we can do. Like, but can you at least acknowledge that there's a problem? Didn't even give us the details for who to contact. Like, I had to push, and then they just go to the website. So not impressed by BA's customer service on that one. They did say you can try again with the same person, literally the same person at the gate. So I'm not expecting much to happen, but we'll see what happens with that. But very frustrating, because part of the thing of your ticket is that you can choose your seat 24 hours ahead, and she couldn't. Not really good enough, BA. Hello, future Susie here. Just coming in to finish the video off, because that was where the footage ended. So essentially the way that whole story with Charlie's seat ended was I went to the gate and spoke to the exact same guy that I spoke to at the check-in desk, which makes it even more bizarre to me. And he was like, well, the only thing we can do is basically ask other customers if they will switch seats with you. And so basically that's what we did. I stood at the desk with him while he called up the passengers to go, would you consider switching seats? Now, thankfully, because Charlie was in the front row bulkhead seat, it did give a kind of incentive for someone to switch seats, because they would have loads of legroom. And the first person that the chap called up was a young guy who was tall, basically, and I kind of stood there. I didn't say anything. He said, would you consider switching seats with this other passenger, because she basically can't sit in the middle seat, but you'll be in the bulkhead. And this gentleman very nicely said yes. And then I stood next to him going, thank you so much for doing that. Like, it means everything. Like, you don't know how much of a difference that made. But it just seemed kind of messed up to me. Like, that was how the whole situation had to go. Like, we were totally reliant on other passengers. So still not overly impressed by, it wasn't so much what the solution was, it was just the general attitude towards the problem, because it wasn't my sister's fault that she couldn't check in. She was doing everything they told her to do. They just wouldn't allow her to check in. So I do feel like their systems should have some way of you picking your seat even if you can't check in. Anyway, the past is the past. So thankfully that was the only kind of hiccup in our journey home. Got home absolutely fine. And overall we had an absolutely fantastic a trip. So I hope you have enjoyed this series. As I have previously said, if you liked this video, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up, because I should have more videos on the way. In fact, next week, you're going to get a room tour of one of the accessible ocean view cabins on the Disney Dream. So I hope you enjoy that, and I will see you really soon. Bye!